Welcome back. It's day 6 of Doctor Who on Twitch, and we're having a banger of a time. I would have to imagine we're into Pertwee now. Third Doctor unit action is happening. It's a happy place to be. If you've not watched any Third Doctor stuff, tune in tonight. It's a happy family. They call it the unit family. It's nice, warm, Brexit-free 1970s, good old-fashioned family monster exploding fun. And you can't go far wrong with that. I mean, you can. You definitely can. But you can. Tune in. It's good. What episodes do we have on the schedule tonight? The computer has broken. We've got the Ambassadors of Death, 5 episodes. So that's most of the Ambassadors of Death. I don't know if I covered that in the last episode, like the fact that it's most of it tonight. The Inferno, 7 episodes. Goodness, the Inferno, 7 episodes. That feels about right in a bad way, I guess. Terror of the Autons, that's the first episode of season 2 of Pertwee's lovely stuff. Return of the Autons, if you didn't already, I suspect that. Is it the first one with the Master? It's the first one with the Master. Yes, I want to say it is. Mind of Evil, 6 episodes. The Claws of Axos, 4 episodes. And then 1 episode of Colony in Space. So, once again, bangers of episodes. Absolute, kind of burp there. Full throttle bangers. Let's screen again because I can't remember. Well, you've got your Ambassadors of Death. So that's most of it. I feel like we covered that last night. I probably didn't look at it, and that's probably why I talked about it more than we're going to talk about it here, because we've already talked about it. If you're watching the series, you already know what's happening. And then it is Inferno. Inferno is a jam. I want to say Inferno is a jam. It's more of in my opinion, which is what these videos are. If I've not said that before, I hope I've not caused wars from what my personal opinions on Doctor Who have been by kind of stating them like fact. Anyway, Inferno is good. I think it's like a kind of a specific kind of what's the term? It's an acquired taste of jam. You know, it's a jam that you'd have to kind of like to be into, like already. Like it's very it's got a lot of kind of environmental stuff presented in a very like muddled kind of way, because the main draw of the episode is that Inferno is like the alternate reality episode, the alternate reality unit episode where the Doctor, I forget how he gets there, but he gets to like an alternate universe where the Nazis won, basically, is I think what we're to infer, or like, you know, at least Nazis were more popular in 1970s America. Why am I saying America? 1970s UK. It's a very like post-war thing is Doctor Who. There's a lot of like legacy of World War II happening in the writing of Doctor Who, and it's very evident in Inferno. Like Inferno, like there's an eye patch wearing a unit. I don't even know if it's called unit. I should probably know that. I bet it's probably not called unit. I think because he's like the security force for the plant, isn't he? Yeah. Anyway, there's an eye patch brigadier and like an evil Liz Shaw, and everyone's horrible, and it's great. But that's kind of one of the things going on. The other thing is that like there's this drilling project, and I love all of the projects that are going on in Doctor Who in the 70s in Pertwee's era. There's always some sort of nuclear base or like scientists, and it's, you know, human folly. Like they've dug too deep. Specifically in this one, they've dug too deep because they're like trying to bore through the Earth's crust for some reason. Science. Oh, it's an energy thing. That's the other thing. It's the 70s, so they're going to solve the energy crisis by lava. I know thermal energy, but like they're just going straight for the lava in the middle of Britain, which seems like it would be doomed to fail anyway. Like they're like it's happening on both Earths as well. Like this crisis on two Earths is happening with like the normal Earth's going for it, and like the Nazi Earth is definitely going for it, and they're like more efficient because they're Nazis and they're like further along in their project. So the apocalypse happens in Inferno, and it's pretty good. It's a lovely lava lamp, melty cheese apocalypse, and it's like a lot of things is great. It's a good time. It also has like these werewolf people. Does Inferno like the story would have been better without the werewolf people. You know, you could have shortened an episode there. I know that would never happen because you had to fill the time slot and had to fill the episode count. So shortening those episodes was never going to happen. But if you didn't have the werewolf element, I feel like they're called like primoids because like there's this element in the story where boring into the Earth's crust has unleashed these like primal juices that have bubbled up, and I feel like scientists like just touch them because they're 70s scientists and they just don't know not to touch things, which is, I suppose is still like a failing of scientists. In that New Year's Day resolution episode, that scientist just rocked up to that clearly malevolent squid thing that we knew would be a Dalek, but you know, there's a giant squid thing like on a wall, like in a don't touch it, scientist. You think times have changed, but no, scientists will just touch guff that they clearly shouldn't. But the scientists like touch some of the gloop, and turn into werewolves with wee cute noses. Like the cute noses either like save, I want to say save the episode, but save the werewolf part of it for you, or they doom the werewolf part of it for you. If you like the wee cute noses, you'll love it, and if you can't stand the wee cute noses, then I guess the episode's dead to you. And that's probably fine because there's a billion classic Doctor Who episodes. And you've got nose prejudices, and that's fine. I won't judge you. But the sentence is going a lot of ways, and I'm just going to cut it short. Inferno's good. It's a banger. It's a Pertwee episode. It's also got the other element of it's like the season finale for season 1 of Pertwee's Hugh. And it's kind of a capper on the kind of, again, not hard sci-fi, but going for it sci-fi of that first season. It's also Liz Shaw's last episode, I want to say. Liz Shaw doesn't really get a fair crack at the whip. She only has like 4 stories. And like they were definitely trying something there in the early 70s with like a more competent, like knowing things companion and not someone that just like Annie, she does a lot of screaming because it's still the 70s and it's like they're never going to get away from that. But they were trying with her. And then they immediately go into Jo Grant, which I'm not going to say anything against Jo Grant, but they immediately just slam into Jo Grant. I should have had a thing because the tabs just can't handle this. What have we got? Ambassadors of Death, Inferno. Terror of the Autons isn't as good as Spearhead from Space. I feel like that's an acceptable thing to say in this day and age. I feel like I wouldn't get a lot of hate for that. I think Terror is... It's got a Master in it. It's like the first appearance of the Master. He like rocks up in the TARDIS that is like a traveling circus. Again, these are a lot of my memories and feelings, which a lot of this series will be constructed from. And he has like I feel like this is the gimmicky one because like they knew how good the Auton idea was, and they milked it for all they could in the 70s. Again, don't know why the Autons aren't in more stuff. They're great. They're very flexible. Hey, they're very flexible. Oh, they're very flexible idea. I made myself. I chuffed. I'm so chuffed with what I just said. Might just call the video there. That's it. It's not going to get better than that. I'm just going to build back up to talking. They knew how good the idea was. I feel like, is Terror the one with the inflatable chair? It is, because it's the Master. Yeah, the Master, like a guy comes back, because he takes over a plastic factory. Again, great use of the Autons. And then, like, there's a great scene where one of the executives comes back after, like, either, like, a holiday or, like, a business trip or something. And, like, he's like, what's going on? Why is the production being swapped over to make these horrible dolls? Because that's part of the plan, and like what's going on, and like why have you cancelled these contracts with these guys? We've been doing business with these guys for years. Why would you do that, Masterman, Mr. Masterman, whatever your disguise is this week? And like the master's like, yes, you're right. Maybe have a sit on this chair or something. I'll explain it all to you. And like the guy, he's like, I don't know. And it's like an inflatable chair, like a black 70s inflatable chair. And the guy, this is going to be the monster of the day. The guy sits on it, and like the chair like deflates, and he like pretends like he's being killed. And it's like one of the least convincing deaths in classic Who, and it's great. It might also be a cliffhanger. Could be wrong. But it's good. It's good. Yes, let's say that Auton chair is the monster of the day. I was going to say monster of the week, but it's monster of the day until I look at the list of other episodes and there's like some incredible classic thing in there. Oh, come on, Tabs, come on. What have we got? We've got Terror of the Autons. It's got the first appearance of the Master. That's probably the main thing you can say about it. And then I feel like every episode in the season also has a Master. The Mind of Evil, did not see until last year. That was another one of the ones that Twitch educated me about. I think it was probably another case of like the DVD case didn't have a Dalek on it, or it didn't have like a monster that I recognized, or like a concept that I wanted to get to grips with. And it was just like, oh, it's another Pertwee one. It's good. I feel like that's the one with the first unit peace conference. And like maybe a whole lot of China racism, because there's like delegates from all around the world. And like there was a prison. Is that Mind of Evil? Is Mind of Evil the one with the prison? And then like the Master like just steals a nuclear missile that's been like towed. I know that still happens. I know they do convoys through Britain. That's terrifying. I'm pretty sure they do it through this town that I'm in. Like, but I feel like it was just like on the back of a lorry in The Mind of Evil, and he like tries to nuke somewhere to start World War III. Again, like they're doing really good. Like if you're into your like early 70s social issues and like historical conflicts and stuff, Pertwee's Who is for you. You should check it out. Probably not doing a great job of like selling you on episodes and stuff, but this is what we're doing. Mind of Evil. Mind of Evil. Yes, it's the one with the prison. And there's like a machine to turn like prisoners. They've got some concepts. Like they sat down and like looked at a newspaper and had some things that they were interested in. Like they slammed them together and they made very memorable content. The big team behind Pertwee's early stuff. Mind of Evil. I just don't have much to say about it. I saw it last year. I would watch it again. Yeah, that's the problem. Like that is the problem, because I've given the monster of the day to the chair from Terror of the Autons. But after Mind of Evil, it's Claws of Axos, which is another one of my absolute favorite episodes of Doctor Who. I will agree that it's probably not that good in the grand scheme of things. It's probably not the best Pertwee even, but it's a banger. Like it has great like organic aliens, like a really good, I want to say good design, but like it has good ideas behind its design of the aliens, because it's like a benevolent invasion where these aliens rock down and they've got this like potato spaceship full of tentacles, but it turns out they're these like golden angel beings with like paper mache eyes, and like they're all gold and shiny, and they talk like all heroic and stuff, and they're like, oh, we're like doomed survivors of our planet, and we've traveled many light years to come here to this Earth because of its minerals and whatnot, and we'd love to share our technology with you, because you give us your minerals or whatever, we'll you can have our tech and it'll be fine, everything's fine. Like we're definitely not trying to invade you. Like we're definitely not trying to invade you. I want to say Claws of Axos is ambitious, because like it's got loads of fleshy tech. Like the Axos stuff is like this miracle axonite, I want to say, and their spaceship is fleshy. Like I want to say that probably hadn't been seen before on British TV. There definitely, I want to say with some certainty that there probably wasn't like a fleshy flesh on British TV before Claws of Axos. Like, and like, their Axos human design, take it or leave it, it's just like a guy, gold, and he's got like a morph suit. He looks like a putty from the Power Rangers. He looks like a golden version of the putties. But I feel like their monster form looks cracking. Cracken's probably the right word because it's very tentacly. Like, maybe it doesn't come off well nowadays, but what does in Classic Who? But again, they're all like fleshy people. And there's like, again, there's like another project. There's like a collider project that the Doctor's like, oh, can I borrow your collider, mate? Well, I've now got plug some Axos into it today, some readings. And then like the scientist is like, no, you can't have. This is like a million pound collider that we've somehow built in the early 70s. Like, it's going to prove science. Like, you can't just plug your guff in it, Doctor. And the Doctor's like, you're right. And then that scientist just like leaves the room, and the Doctor just plugs the guff in it anyway. And then like it goes bad because the invasion plot happens early because he's activated the Axonite. And then like the scientist comes in and he's like, no, you mad fool, you've doomed us all. The collider's going to explode because you wouldn't listen. You're an arrogant fool. And then I feel like that scientist just dies because of exposure to colliding Axonite. There's a lot of death that happens in Doctor Who that's not always justified. I feel like he was like kind of portrayed as like an arrogant, pompous, turtleneck-wearing scientist from the early 70s, so he was clearly marked for death. But my memory of it is always that he doesn't deserve to just disintegrate for saying the Doctor probably shouldn't stick some guff in a collider. Claws of Axos is pick of the day. Claws of Axos is banging. It's got some terrible / maybe okay American accents. There's a guy in it who's either bizarrely actually American or very probably just a British person doing an American accent. I hope he's not just American, and I've always laughed at his American accent. That would be terrible. But yeah, and he's like a man in the suit because like the CIA or like America, yeah, it's probably like follow on from Mind of Evil, where like the world is like now concerned that the Master is about. The Master's also in this episode. She's like been captured by Axos. Because I think he tried to like strike a deal with them or something. It's just like a scene where like Joe is like captured and also the Master's there, or like the American man's captured and also the Master's there. There's a lot of like really upsetting claw handwork. Like there's these claws that are clearly like men from behind the set that put their hands into the fake claws and they're wiggling them about, and they've like held on to the Master and the American man, and they're like holding them down. Again, flesh tech. I want to say that was a first. Maybe Thunderbirds had a fleshy ep, but I want to say that Axos was the first. Maybe that's not a great achievement, but it feels like it to me. It's mainly because like that was an episode I had on VHS, and I watched it to death. Biases, they're fine. They're fine. Is that the last episode that's on tonight? Will we talk to each other while we wait for the tab to load? Good God. No, Colony in Space ends tonight. You get one episode of Colony in Space. Again, I'm in two minds about Twitch's streaming with their kind of like I kind of just do full stories, but also it preserves the kind of the spirit of the cliffhanger. You know, it reminds me of when one of those weird digital channels. It wasn't Gold or its derivatives, but it was someone was showing Classic Who, but it was showing it in like one episode a night. And I don't mean like one story a night, I mean one episode. And I know that's like the format it was originally like made in, but like to me, Classic Who is very much always the omnibus format because of UK Gold and its early morning. We're going to say streams, but that's just horrible. It's early morning broadcasts of Classic Who. By Colony in Space is one I hadn't seen until last year on the fabled Twitch stream of our youth. I want to say that's the one with the colony in space. I want to say that's the one where it's very like the kind of Scottish debate from the 70s, like the kind of referendum from back then, because is that the one where like the space empire, like the space empire in the future, like it's very on the nose and it's great. Like you should see it if you haven't seen it already. But it's like the space empire is like they've taken over this planet and they've taken over loads of planets, but they've got this planet and they're like pulling out because like there's no minerals left to exploit. Like it's very like end of the empire stuff. But I feel like it's very like specifically Scotland as well. There's a lot of kind of North Sea stuff. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. Maybe that was before that actually happened in the 70s. Maybe it was too early for that. But to me, it was very like, because there was like these natives and stuff that they exploit. There's a guy that has a great speech about how like the space empire is. Maybe I dreamed this, but he has like a great speech about how the empire is like extended all its resources and fuel and it's completely dead. And like it just can't afford to hang on to this like colony, so it's getting the heck out of there. And I feel like it's delivered by one of those 70s men. I don't know the actor's name, but you'll know him when you see him. He's one of those guys. I really like Claus Vaxos. Like I kind of wish that was the last episode of the night, so I can move on to tomorrow. But yeah, you should probably see Colony in Space. I feel like there's a lot going on there. It's the first because the Doctor gets his dematerialization circuit, or he steals it from the Master, or something. He gets his ability to travel in time and space back unofficially in Claus Vaxos, because the Time Lords specifically remove the blocks from him in the Three Doctors, what we'll get to in a bit. But yeah, this is like the first off-world activity, I want to say. I know I've just read out a list of all the Doctor Who episodes and talked about them at length, but I want to say that's the first off-world activity. Notable for that. Hey, notable for that. Tune in tomorrow when we'll talk about more Pertwee. Bye. Gonna keep